But don't do it when you're swimming because you'll pass out at the bottom of the pool. And a lot of people have done that.
Don't,
Yeah, it's very
yeah,
dangerous.
don't do
Right.
it. Don't do it when you're swimming ever. You never want to hyperventilate when and then get in the water because again, it's that your body doesn't feel like it needs to breathe because it takes a while for your levels to go up. So when I'm practicing, I do a lot of different types of breath hold practices. Hyperventilating is one of those. The other things that I like to work into, which is increasing my vital capacity. How much air can my lungs hold? Because obviously, if you have a bigger gas tank, you could hold more fuel, and your lungs are your fuel. Or this is your body needs energy, so that energy comes in the form of adenosine triphosphate or ATP, which is a byproduct of glucose, so sugar that we get from our food, oxygen that we get from the air. Those combined, and then it gives us energy, and it gives us the output of CO2 and water, which we then breathe out. Uh, so I want to have bigger lungs. So one of the things I do is what's called lung expansion breath. This is similar to free diving, where free divers do like that lung packing, but it's not about trying to pack in your lungs. That's actually kind of dangerous, and it's been kind of shunned upon by different free divers. Not everybody. Some still do it a lot, but it's really another really easy practice to do. You take a full inhale, you hold your breath for a few seconds or maybe 30 seconds. Then you take another inhale, hold the breath. And I usually only do two of those. And so that helps to stretch out my lungs. The average person, like woman is about 4.5 liters, and a man is around 6.5 or 6 to 6.5 liters. And so you say the average person is about 5 liters of air. There's a free diver, world record free diver named Stig Svensson, and I think I probably butchered his name, but I think he could hold something like 14 liters of air in his lungs, which is just an incredible amount to be able. He's a bigger guy, but it shows just what you can do through breath practice and through doing breath holds.
So
Uh,
you
and then
inhale, you
I'll
hold the breath, and then are your lungs kind of like expanding a little bit and stretching? Is that how you're able to take another breath in?
not just your lungs. So the jury's kind of out on do the lung stretch. I don't know if lungs tissue stretches or not. I'm not a doctor. I've never done those kind of studies, but your thoracic cavity does stretch. Your intercostal muscles, your diaphragm, those all muscles stretch around it. So like think of an illustration of blowing up a balloon inside of a glass jar. Even if though the balloon could go bigger, the glass jar limits it. So if I'm able to make the jar bigger, the balloon is able to hold more. So that's kind of what you're doing with it. Yoga stretches are also really good for increasing your vital capacity, doing side bends and twists, forward folds, back bends, all those things that make all the muscles around your thoracic cavity more pliable.
Okay.
And then I'll work into different breath practices. I usually start without doing any kind of hyperventilation because, again, being a free diver, it's not a tool that I could use. So I want to know what my static breath hold is. How long can I hold just working on relaxed breathing? One of the main keys with free diving and breathing is meditation, or being able to slow down the mind. The mind's a battery. It just uses not a battery, the opposite of a battery. It's like an engine. It just uses up lots of energy. And so as you're able to calm your mind, or the more that you can calm it down, the less energy that your brain is using, and the longer you could hold your breath. So it's really about moving into those meditative states, which also helps you with decreasing stress. And then I'll do like the hyperventilation ones. I work on both holding on outer retention, which is going to help increase CO2 tolerance. You have less air in the lungs. And so when you're holding your breath, as the CO2 builds up and it's being brought into the lungs through your circulatory system, there's less air for the CO2 to diffuse into. So your CO2 levels become higher. So that increases your CO2 tolerance. And then the other one is working on getting the blood oxygen down. And so I'll do that with a full breath or inner retention because that allows you to hold your breath longer because you have less CO2 driving you, or I guess I would say more room for the CO2 to diffuse into, so that you don't hit that air hunger, that CO2 tolerance range so fast. So working through those kinds of things. And there's a million different practices, but you could also keep this very simple. It's a really easy thing. If you just breathe less.
The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.